and today we're going to be going over how I prepare for a new school semester and also showing you how I plan for the school week. I have a really full load this semester, so there's a lot to be done. Right now I'm just putting all the page numbers and writing out my classes, and this calendar that I use actually goes in my study notebook, so it only really has the due dates for assignments, and I don't use it to plan out how I study for the week. I use my personal planner. So I'm taking a class on motivation that's going to be about, I think, 14 or 15 weeks long. It's pretty simple. It's only like 1 credit hour. And then my other 2 are a little bit more complex. So I have a class on learning and motivation, and then I have another one for developmental psychology. So right now I'm going in my Canvas and taking off all the calendars for the other assignments that might have popped up, just so I see the most important ones. And I'm looking at the calendar, the weekly calendar, and seeing what the due dates are. So that's the first thing I do on the first day of my classes. Usually nothing's due, and if it is due, it's like an introductory thing, and they have stuff due in the middle towards the end of the week. So I just started writing down stuff. The first week usually is pretty simple. It's syllabus, quizzes, academic integrity agreements, introduction discussion boards, and then usually towards the end of the week they have the modules quizzes. So that's not to say that you don't do reading or anything else for the beginning of the week. It's just that you don't have assignments due on the first day. It's more towards the end of the week. So then I just look through all the different due dates, and I'm actually going to be writing down for the next 2 weeks, just so I can kind of plan ahead a little bit more. And I did that because I have a special project due, as you guys can see, on the 29th. And then next I like to go in and look at all the syllabuses for the classes. So after filling that out, I move on to my personal planner. It's the Doodle Planner by Amanda Rach Lee. I have a video on my channel sort of flipping through and showing you more in depth for the planner. But if you're going to honestly be in any school, or especially be in an online school, you need a planner. It's really, really essential. It helps you keep track of everything. So what I did here is kind of a bit different than what I normally do because I have so much reading and so much classwork. I took Post-its and I cut them, and then I put them in the boxes. So underneath I'll kind of put more daily to-dos and maybe some more personal things that are coming up. And on top I'll put my work schedule and my study schedule. So I'm just going in and I pulled out my work schedule and I was pretty much writing in all the days that I'm working. My work is really inconsistent right now because of everything going on, but I am working pretty much every single day this week. I don't know if it'll be the same for next week, but right now it's on a 7-day work schedule. So that might seem crazy to some of you guys to do like a full-time class load and then also work full-time. You know, I have 2 jobs and then I also have my side hustles, but when you're young you kind of have to do what you have to do. And yeah, also I just want to add that for me, having this organized setup is really good for my mental health and helps a lot with trying to ward off burnout, because having all of this organized makes it so much easier to study and it takes a lot of pressure off. I already know what I have to do, and I've really found a system that works well for me, and I do change it frequently just to make sure that it's always working well for me. So that's the biggest thing that I would say, is just making sure you're finding something that works for you. Alright, so after writing out my full work week schedule, then I'm going to be writing out my sort of study and class plan. So I'm going to be doing my 3 different classes, and the first one I'm starting with is that EDP 310, and I'm just making sure that I'm writing down all the due dates, so transferring it from that bigger calendar into this weekly spread. And I'm also putting in some personal ones that might interfere with that. So my videos kind of do take up a little bit of time, so I just want to make sure that I put that down. My days for work pretty much don't go over 6 hours, except for on Sunday it goes over 8 hours. It goes to about 8 hours. So right now I'm just trying to put in all the important due dates first, and then I'm going to go in and add in all my readings, all my lectures, any study time pretty much. So besides checking the overall calendar for each class, I also like to go in on each class sort of forum and go through all the syllabuses and all their due dates, and they'll have like usually an academic calendar posted in their own thing, and sometimes they don't match up, or I just want to make sure that I have everything down, or they might have like a recommended way to study, so I'll usually rely on that. But I try to make it so that way I get work done in a way that flows the best. And just because I write it on this day doesn't mean I have to do it on this day per se. Like if I finish all of this and I feel really good and I feel like I could study more, or a work appointment gets canceled and I have stuff due on Friday, I may not leave the stuff due on Friday. I might do a little bit extra and then have less to do on Friday, and so on and so forth. So, for example, on Friday, I work from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m., so that's about like a 4-hour shift. So, I could for sure get up in the morning and maybe watch like a lecture or two and take notes on that to try to understand it better. And after work, I'll have plenty of time to do all my supplemental readings. So, I think it's important to look at the time. And the reason why I write in my lunch breaks on certain days is because if I have like a really heavy course load that week, sometimes I do like to read on my lunch break just to make it a little bit easier, or I'll watch one of my lecture videos on my lunch break depending on how long it is, or a supplemental video. So I don't mind. I enjoy it because this is something that I actually want to learn about. So yeah. So on Sunday, I have like an 8-hour day, so I try to start it as early as possible, and I'll be done by 4 p.m. I still have a break on that one, but that break is kind of up to me for when I want to take it. So if I feel like I'm running behind, I could always do my quiz or something during that time, or study for my quiz later on. And I'm just kind of going in and I'm putting the assignment due dates on both Saturday and Sunday, and then I'm putting in the supplemental reading that I want to do before or upcoming for Sunday, because on Sunday I have about 2 quizzes due. So another thing is I'm putting my supplemental videos here. I have a lot more, but I picked 3 that I thought I would enjoy watching or I haven't seen before. And I'm also writing in the time, because if something's really short, then I'd like to get it knocked out as soon as possible. So I just picked the ones that I like the best, but there was about 6 to choose from. But I think 2 of them I've seen before and I didn't really need a refresher on them. So then I'm moving on to Sunday, and I'm basically making sure that I'm writing in those due dates again and double checking that I have everything there. And I added the module 1 discussion and the 2 comments because they take a long time to write, and then to do the comments themselves as well and create like a thoughtful answer also takes a long time to write. So I like to usually highlight everything as I go, and I think it's a lot more satisfying because those 2 comments do take a while to put together, so I just want to make sure that it feels good to check something off the list. So then I noticed that they posted a module 1 quiz review, and I saw everything and it looked like I would have to do a lot more studying than I anticipated, so I made sure that I worked back and added in some extra study days. When I do my readings and my quizzes, I try to make sure that I understand everything the first time around and that I really absorb it, so that way the review that I have to do is very little, because it just helps so much and I understand it so much better. So then I noticed that I also had an assignment due. So then I decided to make sure that I go back and put on Saturday that I want to kind of review that assignment and get the base started and work on it. And this is kind of the overall view of my work and school schedule this week, you guys, for studying. So I want to thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that bell notification. It really helps a lot. And I just want to say, make sure you have a good one, make sure you're staying safe, and bye guys.